Okay, so I thought what I'd do today is I would just chuck some black ink around, and I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I've got the most sort of nebulous of ideas, and by that I've used a long word to sort of describe the fact that I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't know what I'm going to do. I've got sort of bits of ideas, nothing very solid. Sometimes it's good to do this, and sometimes it sort of falls on its face, but I'm thinking I need the practice at the moment. I've been doing a lot of commission work, and commission work's been fantastic actually. I've really enjoyed it, but I've not had a good freestyle, and often freestyle is where you make mistakes and it pushes you forward a little bit, and you actually learn something. So I'm going to see what happens. What is probably going to happen is a lot of familiar tropes of my work is going to come out, and you'll see that, but hopefully I'll be able to find a way through and do something a bit new as well. No guarantees, right? You know, can't guarantee any of that will happen, but we'll see. So without further ado, what I'm working with today, I'm working with mechanical pencil and a fine liner and a pigmographic one, and that's pretty much all I'm going to be working with today. And I want to see how much of this space I can fill. I always start out with the theory that I'm going to fill the whole of the space, but that is not necessarily going to happen, because sometimes you start to look at it and think, oh, actually, if I use this and this and this, I can use this negative space to draw attention to this bit and all that. You have ideas, you know, you jam as you go. Same as it always is, really. So anyway, enough waffle, let's get on with it. Right, I mean, that's pretty much there. It takes me a while to get warmed up on this, but once I start flowing with it, I always sort of feel a bit sorry for the fact that there's not any paper left. Yeah, you know, you start off with a blank piece, and it's like, God, how am I going to fill this? And then eventually it's like, I'm not going to have enough room to do all my ideas on this. Just starts to flow. You've got to let yourself go, really. It's my biggest piece of advice to beginners. Let yourself go. I mean, you can't just let yourself go at the beginning. You've got to know how to formulate shapes and create dynamics and all that sort of stuff. But once you've done that, you can really let your imagination run riot. And I mean, there's some familiar tropes here, but there's some slightly different takes on it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking that I'm reasonably happy with this. I don't think that ain't so nice, actually. Am I going to go for flow? See, this is the thing. You start to sort of see the congruity or the incongruity of the work you're doing. It's like, am I going to do... Actually, I'm going to keep it like that. That's fine. Am I going to flow, or am I going to do it jagged? Is it going to be... What sort of energy is it going to be? That's quite hard to describe, but it's the upshot of that is like are my lines going to be jagged, or are they going to be nice and flowy and curvy, or is it going to be a combination of both, or how's it going to be? Anyway, you're probably going to see how this pans out as I begin to ink it, because I'm going to apply the black ink now, and you're going to see this hopefully come to life. I'm sorry if my paper keeps slipping down, by the way. I don't really notice when I'm doing the art. I can't really look at the camera at the same time, because I'm trying to work out how I can do it. So I'm going to probably add more stuff as I go, but it'll be stuff over the top. Because I'm using black ink, I've got to be very careful how I put shadows on, because I'm not using greys. So I can't just drop big black shadows everywhere, because it will start to kill all the line work. So I've got to be really careful. So I'm going to have to cheat quite a lot of these shadows, but that's all right. I can make it work. Let's get stuck in. Okay, I'm finished. All done. And yeah, I'm fairly pleased with how that's come out. What to say about this one? So yeah, first of all, sorry that my my camera conked out just towards the end of it. I think I was doing this bit over here when it conked out, which is a bit of a pain, but I thought there was enough battery in there, but there weren't. So that was a boo-boo on my part. Sorry about that. I tell you what, this is a bit of a pro tip, and it's worth talking about, which is when you're an artist and you're doing this sort of stuff a lot, it might surprise you what I'm about to say. You should really go and get, every so often, like once a year, you should go and get like Chinese massage or sports massage on your wrists and hands, because it really starts to hurt and cramp after a while. I've done a lot of tight line work and stuff like that. After a while, if you do hours and hours and hours of this stuff, it really starts to get your hands and wrists. And as you get older, it's a pain. It's really difficult. If you want to continue to be able to draw as you get older, you've got to do something about it. You know, go and get somebody to give your wrists and hands a massage. I'm just going to chuck that in because a lot of professional artists, one of my favourite artists of all time, 2000 AD artist Ian Gibson, couldn't draw towards the end of his life. Dave McKean, famously, who did Cerebus, he can't draw anymore. A lot of artists who were very, very prolific can no longer draw, and you want to avoid that happening to you. You want to be able to draw as long as you can. So my advice to you is to get your wrists and hands massaged every so often. And really, I'm saying it to remind myself, because I've not had it done for ages. There's a Chinese massage called Tweener, which is amazing. Breaks down scar tissue and stuff in your tissues, and it's really, really good. And the reason I'm saying this is because as I was doing this, I was really beginning to feel it, particularly using fine line stuff. So this pen, it's amazing, this pen, and it's got to the point where I press really hard with this stuff to get really tight lines and to control my line weight just the way I want it. So I can do fine lines, I can do fat lines, I can ink large areas, all that sort of stuff. But it really starts to hurt after a while. It really starts to hurt, and preferably I'd like to be drawing when I'm older, you know. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to have to take more care. So anyway, there you go. I'm going to chuck that in because it might be useful for somebody to hear that. Hope you enjoyed this one. I really love working in monochromatics. Really enjoyed doing this. It was really nice to sort of jam a bit of a freestyle, and you know, because I never know how it's going to turn out, and it's always a bit of a gamble, you know, because it's a bit miserable if you fail at the page. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but I have had times where I turn up to the page and I do my thing, and it just doesn't. Yeah, of course you don't get to see those because I don't show you them. It doesn't happen very often, to be honest, but it does happen every so often, and it is miserable. You feel really defeated by it. It's a horrible feeling as an artist to feel defeated by the page, to not be able to do something, or to do something, or overdo something. That's the thing about black ink. If you overdo it, you ruin it. You know, there are all kinds of shadow. You can probably see right now that there are shadows that would go in if I had a lighter tone on these planes, for instance. But if I start blacking these in, I start to lose stuff, and what I lose is it's not worth it for what I lose. It's just not worth it. You know, this hand here, it would cast more of a shadow on stuff, and if it, you know, I can start destroying the fine work, the fine line work and stuff. You know, so why do it? If I'm happy with the way it is, it's fine, it's good. Anyway, there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back for more soon.